not all people with a disadvantage or a difficulty is disabled, because they're becoming enabled with so many different things in life.
Dr. Zeina.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Yeah, hala.
Merci.
Welcome to the Wise Podcast. Welcome everyone to a new episode of the Wise Podcast. And today, the guest is so unique and so special. She's from UK. Welcome, Dr. Zeina.
Hi. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing great. Dr.
Thank you for having me, firstly.
Most welcome. You're
So
most welcome.
happy to be here.
It's our honor. It's my honor.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Zeina, tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do in life?
Ooh,
What kind of people you are?
How long do you have?
We can stay till tomorrow. No worries about it.
Well, firstly, I'm a child of God.
Okay. Nice to
Secondly,
hear
I'm a
that.
daughter.
Okay.
I'm a sister.
Okay.
I'm a godmother. The list of that can go on.
I
The
wanna hear
social
it.
aspect.
I want to hear about it. Okay.
But in my choice of life, career path,
Okay.
I'm a neurobehavior consultant,
Great.
neurobehavior coach.
What is that?
I say coach, consultant, because I
What is
consult
that
and
neurobehavior
I
thing?
coach and I consult in so many different ways.
Okay.
So I graduated in psychology, and I started my career as with working with children with autism. I then built on that in the field of psychology, but in the field of coaching and neuroscience.
Okay.
So combining those skills together, I'm also an RTT specialist, a hypnotherapist. I've done all types of behavioral.
Is hypnotherapy
Here we
for
go.
real?
No, it's not that kind.
I
But
think
and
that's-
actually, people actually misconceive what
Hypnotherapy
hypnotherapy
is not like affecting people consciousness to do things that we want to force them to do it, or
Not
what is
necessarily.
it?
I mean, I think if in a nutshell, if you're driving,
Okay.
if you're just driving and you're used to a certain route, so let's just say from work to home, home to work,
Okay.
back and forth, or to the supermarket,
thing, okay.
and you could be doing a million things. Hopefully not on the phone, but you could be doing a million
yes.
things and things going
The
through your
unconscious
head.
mind is taking over.
Exactly, but it's automatic, right?
Okay.
You don't always need that sat nav,
Yes.
right? You don't always need to think of where you're going. You automatically get there. And that's a form, that's in essence what a hypno is. And that's going into the subconscious mind.
And I remember from the book of Dr. Murphy that the subconscious mind is much more stronger than the conscious mind. Is it right?
Well, there's so many different debates about this, but I believe that, yes, if you tap into your subconscious mind and get that right to where you want it to be, then the conscious becomes a lot easier. The consciousness becomes a lot easier to navigate to things that you want to get to or do and focus on.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, who am I? I'm a mixture of things, but proudly, my mission in life is to add value to people's lives and change, help them make the best change and to become the better version of themselves.
And as a healer or as a helper for the other people, what does that makes you feel like after when you help a person or finish
Oh, it's
the case?
incredibly rewarding. Incredibly rewarding.
Okay.
And it just, and it's not an easy task because obviously,
Totally agree, yeah.
it's not
Especially
all
that you
about.
absorb all these people negativity, and I think you absorb a lot of the energy that's coming from your patients or clients or whatever you call them. So it's not easy. I truly believe that. And in the end of the day, maybe you're already drained from that.
Well,
Is
no,
it true?
you learn. You
learn from your clients?
You learn from your clients
Okay.
how to actually drain that negative energy and refresh it and top it up with more positive energy. So you cleanse your energy.
By helping the others.
By helping them cleanse their energy and teaching them the different modalities.
Okay.
That's where I come in. I teach people the different modalities to be able to better their own lives, not just rely on me to help them make that change, yeah? So I give them the tools and techniques and guide them through it step by step to be able to achieve that in the most rapid way possible.
Okay.
So when it comes to energy, there's so many different ways that you can cleanse your energy, and that goes through whether it's meditation and visualization, some saging or incense. There's so many different praying. There's so many different ways to cleanse your energy.
You remember the first time we met? I put my hands in yours.
Yes.
And my hands start to get warmer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then you started telling me things about myself
Yes.
and about my personality. And you started telling me about some of my traumas for the people watching us.
Yes.
How the hell did you do that? What is this? What did you do?
Years of experience.
Because I was telling you that this energy thing is not true, and I don't believe in all of that. So that was your answer to what I was saying. What was that? What did you do? How you know things about my personality, about who I am? You told me things about my past. What is this?
Well, listen, if I was to tell you all those secrets, then I might have to, No. So many years of experience and with different clients, there's something that you can read people as well. Something called 𝘳𝘦𝘢𝘰𝘶𝘨𝑚. One of my modalities of helping people is quantum energy healing as well. So I can feel that
energy is for real.
Blockages and quantum energy healing is a real thing,
Okay.
And we're all energy beings. So you can come into a room, right? And you can say, hey, I feel really odd and not right in this room. And that could be really a room filled with, really dark energies, people that are just extremely negative, or they haven't they've had bad moods, or they've not gotten over
toxic
the different
people, whatever.
Toxic people. There's a lot of people out there in different positive and negative, right? As I said, we're an energy being, so we can feel each other's energies, and we can heal that with different modalities.
So you learn these quantum energy studies,
yes,
and then in your teaching or in your learning about it, so you learn how to help people regarding it, how to feel the energy of the others.
Yes.
But how does that transform to a conscious ideas? Like, if you saw my energy, okay, it's good or bad.
Well,
then what's next?
I think it's an innate thing, right? You've got a gift. It's a gift from God. I really truly believe that everybody has gifts from God, and it's a calling, or it's a I would say a purpose in life, right? My purpose in life is to help heal people. I had a really difficult childhood growing up. In many different ways, and I've had
you already know that I share the same thing.
Exactly. So you can feel that.
Yeah.
You can feel, and there was a lot of work that I had to do on myself with regards to making sure that I'm utilizing all these different modalities and healing myself, so I can believe in it firstly.
Okay.
And it does work, and then I can also share that with others and help heal them one by one.
Okay.
So and by having that gift and practicing it over and over again, it becomes stronger.
What about Reiki?
The Reiki, yes, I've done.
Tell me about this Reiki.
Several levels of Reiki, and it's just like.
What is it? This
what did you
Reiki?
feel? Hey, let's talk about how you felt within it.
Okay, so when I put my palm in yours,
Yes.
You told me that I'm gonna feel some heat,
Yes.
and I did.
Yes.
I did, but eventually not in the beginning. So I started to feel some heat when my palm was touching yours in this opposite position that you told me to put my hand with. And I started to feel some heat, and I started to have rush of ideas and memories in my mind. And then you were telling me things about myself, and it was like you're downloading a movie from my mind through my hand. So my hands were the USB, my hand and yours are the USB or the cable. And my mind and your mind were just sending information to your mind, and you were just you are watching a movie that was sent from my mind to yours. It's mind blowing. It was mind blowing. I've never had such experience. I've been analyzed. I've been analyzed one time by an art teacher. So she said you draw on a paper using lines, and she's gonna come and do a reading for you. And she did quite an amazing job when she came and she did the reading for us. And I was like, this is something different. So the experience with you was much more effective and much more on a different level than just reading lines that the person do or reading the handwriting like some experts do. So that was another level, Dr. Zeina. That was on totally another level what you did with me, and I've never had such thing before, guys.
Ooh. But
Yeah.
after that session, I mean, you went away, you went home, and then and how did you feel going home, and how did you feel waking up? And how
Though
did
you didn't
feel-
give me a therapy from that session.
No.
But I felt some sort of relief.
Yeah.
And I felt literally like, for example, I'm carrying a bag or I'm carrying some weight on my shoulder, and I felt that you took that away.
Alhamdulillah.
No, really, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And I'm a religious person, and you're also a religious person.
Yes.
But what you did was very good, and the effect lasted for a few days, and like it was something that I was like, okay, but what happened with me? It's something that everybody deserves to have. Everybody I love deserves to have the same thing that you did, actually, and it gives me a motive to go and study or do more searches about what you did. So to see, okay, can I do the same thing and help others? Whether it was psychotherapy, they're giving techniques to do it, and on and on and on.
It's really difficult to express exactly which modalities that we use consistently in terms of achieving such outcome, because every person is different. Every person's energy is different. Every person's history is different. Mm-hmm. The trauma is different. And this is why I opted into really learning about so many different modalities and really training in them and getting certifications in them to be able to...
So you mastered many art of therapy.
Yes, yeah. I'm still mastering them. I'm still a student of life, and I think there's so many,
I
so much
know the
more.
student mentality. And
yes,
all.
there's so much more that I
love
want
her
to gain.
humbleness, guys. I love the humbleness of this lady.
So I still really want to learn so much more, and I learn a lot of things through the people that I am working with, and in terms of my clients, and I learn a lot of the differences between people, and differences between how the same trauma can really affect different people in different ways,
the hero and
different
the villain
cultures in
have the
different
same
ways.
Story,
100%. So I have a lot of clients who have been through rape. I have that have been through different types of abuses, and some of them come out with a lot more resilience than others. And they've experienced maybe really identical, It could be, unfortunately, an uncle that did it or whatever it is that did it. But their resilience is so much different than each other. And you really can learn from the person who has developed that strong resilience. And that's, something,
it's very admirable,
it's
by the
so
way. These
important.
people are real heroes. These survivors, they are real heroes.
100%. And, there's so many different ways that people can frame what's happened to them. And they can live throughout it or live within it or live beyond it, And it's not, and trauma is real. And people are affected, And this is where I really, really go back to this idea of developing resilience in life is super important, but also learning from where I learn from all my clients is where I get a lot of my knowledge from.
I was wondering, from all the things that you said and helping others, have you ever refused to help a person or refused the client? Like he came and you said, "Excuse me, sir, I'm not, or madam, I'm not gonna help you. Go seek another therapist. I'm down."
So in my coaching side of things, so obviously that I started off my career and I still continue with it. I have I specialize in children and adults with neurological deficits such as autism, Down syndrome, any other different learning difficulties. Difficulties, I prefer to say, because they're not all disabled from it. So that's another podcast we need to do.
The difference between disability and difficulty.
Yes, because I feel like, and I'll come back to a story in a bit.
Disability is when you don't have the tool to do the thing. For example, the ability to do things.
So for example, I do an awareness training that I do for hotels and restaurants and tourism in general called all-inclusive tourism, which includes people with identifying also people with different hidden disabilities, right? So a person with a hidden disability could be a person with high blood pressure, diabetes, epilepsy, autism, things like that. That's a whole new subject in itself. But in terms of, I did it with a good friend of mine. He's in a wheelchair. And he says, well, there is a social etiquette that we would like to have. I said, well, exactly. I'm very independent. I'm in a wheelchair. My hands are fine. I can do a lot of things. I've learned how to deal with myself. I don't feel disabled.
You can walk on the
I don't feel disabled.
Yeah.
I'm enabled because the world has changed. Mm-hmm. Now there are escalators that wheelchairs can use.
Yes.
There are lifts.
Parkings everywhere.
There are parkings.
Yeah.
There is the doors, the automatic doors.
And the big salute to all of them.
100%. So
because
the environment has changed.
They are heroes, and we, the normal people with the hands and legs and everything, we learn from them.
Yeah.
We learn from these
Well, we
people.
learn to appreciate what we have, right?
Yeah.
But then it's not just about what we have. We get the motivation to become the better versions of ourselves. Because if people, we don't think that they're far off, they're in a worse position just because they're in a wheelchair, right? Because they don't like pity.
Back to the refusal. I really want to know.
They don't want to pity,
Yes.
So
I know
just
that.
let's wrap that up in terms of saying that, not all people with a disadvantage or a difficulty is disabled. Because they're becoming enabled with so many different things in life. So going back to refusing someone. So basically we were in my clinic in London. And I get this client coming in with his mother. He's autistic. He's on the spectrum. And she says to me, and he's such a lovely young guy. He's in his 14, 15. Nice. And he's very smiley, very huggy and kissy to his mother, and very just touchy-feeling, very happy. And he likes to listen to Dancing Queen, very energetic, loves to listen to Dancing Queen, and starts, having it on his iPod and dancing and everything, and coming in very happy. And the mother, she came in, she was very religious. She was from this region. And she was very religious and very conservative. And she says to me, Doctora, change him. And I went,
change him to what?
What do you mean? Change
him to what? Like a better,
I was like, oh my God. Kid? This is not really a refusal because this was a more correction. But at the beginning, I did put my foot down. And she said, can you stop him laughing and smiling?
And for the kid.
Oh, Jesus, no. I was like, no, please leave my clinic right now. If that's your motive, that's not going to happen. So I can understand that we can control it a little bit, but no, hell no. So I was just like, she's shocked. Why, what? I said, please.
I
said, unless you get therapy too, I'm not making him stop laughing, because really we wish and we hope that we have typical children, let alone children with neurological deficits, to be able to smile and laugh and be happy and, express his happiness.
Very weird that the mother's saying, I want my child to stop laughing.
The end of that story was really positive. It's the fact that they both came back to the clinic and they both had therapy.
The mother and the child.
And the child, which is fantastic.
Hats off?
Yes.
Hats off.
And that was the agreement.
So the mother took the therapy and the child took the therapy at
yes,
the time.
Yes.
And they both became a better version of themselves. They both worked on it.
Yes.
Amazing.
And that's the aim,
That's
right?
a very insightful story. I wouldn't like even have a single thought that you may say for get out of my clinic.
Out? No.
Yeah.
How? And when you're having back-to-back, I mean, I've never actually, that was the only time, and I knew that I was not refusing them. I wanted her to
It was more as a correction.
Rethink what she's doing and have a conversation, because she did it in front of the child as well. And if he's high-functioning, he understands, So we have to just weigh it out in a different different ways.
I agree.
So yeah, we became very good friends, and now very happy, and he's doing very well,
very
and
unique
she's now
Hats off to you,
also
Doctor.
a lot more happier in life, which is fantastic.
Hats off to you, Doctor.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Zeina, you told me about the client that you refused, or you corrected, let's say. What about a very funny story, let's say? Because usually the stories that we hear from the psychologist or the therapist or the life coach is like a person who was down, a person who was traumatized, all this negativity. Was there anything funny that happened with you, or, some story that is very unique and cheerful?
So basically, one story comes to mind is that I had a child. He was very young. Now he's older. I know him. I still follow the family quite well.
Yeah.
And as I told you, one of my specialty areas is autism.
Autism, yeah.
And neurological deficits. So this child, I was called in to be the super nanny. He was a little bit of a biter, and he was also nonverbal. And his father called me up. He's very a well-known character.
Okay.
And he said to me, Doctor, please, I have this 𝘬𝘯𝘦𝘴. He's
1, 2, 3. Okay.
and it's a family that I have in Qatar, actually.
Okay.
And he says to me, 1, 2, 3. They were in London at the time. I said, yep, give me 6 weeks. He was at about 3.5, and he was nonverbal, and he was a biter. And he was the youngest, so you could only imagine there's an element of being maybe a little bit of a spoiled brat.
Okay.
So anyway, within this 6 to 8 weeks, we managed to turn him around totally. 80% reduce in any kind of challenging behavior, as we call it, the biting and stuff like that.
As well?
Challenging. It's more challenging. I don't want to call it aggressive, but challenging behavior, because he didn't know the difference as such just yet, at this age.
See, these terms are very delicate.
100%, 100%. So he was done and dusted by September. I think this was from July to September in the UK. And then I get a call, and he becomes verbal and everything. And I get a call, I think, at the end of October. And he says, Doctora, the father, he calls me and he goes, hello, Doctora. I said, hello, hi.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Okay, what's the
good
update?
to hear you. He said, I need a favor. I said, what? He said, I want to invite you to Qatar. I said,
what happened?
What happened?
Okay.
He said, do me a favor. Like you made him speak, can you make him shut up?
He's speaking too much.
So he was just like literally speaking way too much.
Way too much.
And but when you unlocking nonverbal behavior, I mean, it's a huge thing when a child goes from mute to verbally being unlocked and able to verbalize. It's a huge thing.
It's completely the opposite.
So he just said to me, please come and tell him to shut up.
I don't know my son anymore.
Yeah. So that was wonderful, and I still,
you still remember that story?
And also I still know the family very well, and they're a wonderful family.
You catch up with them.
Yes, they're a wonderful
amazing.
family.
It's a
Absolutely.
very beautiful story. Thank you,
Yes,
Doctor.
no, thank you for allowing me to share it. It was something that was quite
back
hidden
of your
in the back of my mind,
back
and
of
you
your
just brought the smile back to my face. So
same to me. Thank
thank
you,
you.
Doctor. Okay, Dr. Zeina, now I'm gonna ask you very fast questions.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you 2 options, and I want you to choose one of them.
Okay.
Okay. That's gonna be rapid fire.
All right, let's try it.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay.
Let's go.
Jogging or running?
Ooh, jogging.
Okay. Burger or pizza?
Ooh, burger.
Keto diet or intermittent fasting?
Intermittent fasting.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Bentley or Rolls Royce?
Rolls Royce, both?
No, you have to choose one.
Rolls Royce.
Okay. Autism or schizophrenia?
Autism.
ADHD or bipolarity?
ADHD.
Aliens or dinosaurs?
Oh. Aliens.
Arabic sweets or Western desserts?
None, but Arabic sweets.
Okay, good. Plain water or carbonated?
Oh, plain.
Okay. Weightlifting or martial arts?
Oh, I like both.
Pick one.
Martial arts.
Okay. Can I ask the last question?
Oh, let's try it.
Okay. Andrew Tate or Tristan Tate?
No comments. No comments whatsoever. No comments.
Very random.
Very random and no comment.
No comments about it.
No comment.
You don't want to speak about the most
Oh,
Googled
no
person
comment.
on earth.
Oh, absolutely no comment. I don't even want to waste my time with it. No comment.
Okay, we're gonna skip that part then.
Yes, please.
Okay. Dr. Zeina, vulnerability. For me, this word is a synonym of weakness, to be honest. And I see that, especially for us as men, like we always want to be strong, tough, because we are the providers, we take care. And you know, doctor, that the majority of the hard workers and the hard labor in this universe, when it comes, for example, to the armed forces, when it comes to the carpenters, when it comes to the blacksmith, when it comes to all these tough jobs, it's always the men doing it. So do you think that there's any good side of vulnerability, and does a vulnerability ever has something good? Does it have any good outcome to the person who practice it?
That's a great question. I'm also in the field of women empowerment, so I have to step in there.
Men empowerment,
as well as of course men empowerment as well. I think I don't think I would say women empowerment as such, but women. Inspiring women to also rise to the occasion of being able to do a lot of the jobs also. Regardless of that, your question is relates to, I think, because you really did put that out there, that men are this macho type, this expected to be tough and is vulnerability a good thing or a bad thing? Mm-hmm. We all, as human beings, have feminine and masculine energy within us, right?
Yes.
Tapping into that is not a bad thing at all.
Being vulnerable. But you will be labeled.
It depends on who it's with, I think. And I'm not saying go around crying everywhere and just go everywhere.
I understand.
But it's about being able to...
At the right time with the right person.
At the right time, at the right person, in terms of, especially with your, I think you've got to be a little bit more specific with the question. Is it in terms of a relationship? Is it in terms of being with your parents? Is it in terms of friendships? And people are usually vulnerable in front of people that they can trust, that they're not going to be judged, that they're not going to be... And being vulnerable is a way to really know who your friends are, and know who those people are that will not judge you, that will support you in terms of... Because when you're vulnerable, it's not always about a problem.
Okay.
Sometimes it's about, for example, so if I was to give you an example of being vulnerable with your partner, if you say, I love you, or I really am falling madly in love with you, is that vulnerable? But if you have that inkling thought that maybe this person is going to see you as weak,
or is going to use
is that person really...
is going to use it to hurt me.
Is that person really right for you, right? So it's a gut feeling of knowing.
And it's really a tool to discover that is this person for real or no?
Yes.
Because if I'm showing my weak spots, and that
vulnerability
person
is not weakness.
Hits me on it.
And this is where people you're mixing it up, right?
Yeah, I told you.
Vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is being able to be transparent in all your feelings, in all your thoughts, in all your just presence, even.
So we talk about the delicate feelings and the soft feelings and the strong ones.
So, for example, a veteran that was shot in the army and had a leg amputated. Okay. He comes back home. His wife, they're madly in love. Is it vulnerable? Is it a vulnerability for him to allow her to keep helping him undress and wash and see the amputation?
No. I believe actually it's healthy.
Yes.
Because it's going to help him, and it's going to help her to have this feeling that I'm taking care of my man, and it's going to help him that I have my support. I have my wife in my back. I have my wife supporting me. So I believe it's healthy, actually.
There is no real thoughts, and I really truly believe this, that there is no real overthinking when it comes to vulnerability. It just is. You just are able to be yourself in all your pure formest, in all your imperfections and your perfections.
Amazingly said.
So I hope that does help moving forward for anybody that really doesn't think that they can be vulnerable. But
especially men.
Especially men, yes. Especially men. It doesn't make you less than a man.
But show it to the right people
Yes.
at the right
See,
time.
I'd rather a man come home and say, and be vulnerable in terms of saying, you know what, I was really upset with work today. Not come home and say, oh, and get angry, because that's how men think vulnerability
Yeah, sometimes
that's the communication.
To a different language.
It's translated into anger rather than sadness. Yes. So instead of that, him expressing it to be in a violent or an abusive way, whether it's not directly abusive to me, but in terms of, in general, just being able to say, come home and allowed to be sad if he's sad, but not live in that sad moment.
Understand.
Move past it very quickly.
I want to jump to the last question, or the second signature question, but I want to tell you something in brief.
Yes.
Does manifestation work?
Yes.
And does our talk to ourselves work? And in very fast word, now the people watching us, how a person can manifest what he wants in life.
100%.
Should it be like success and growth?
How to do it? There's so many different modalities to do
writing,
manifestation.
Talking to self.
So you can write the affirmations that you give yourself. So when you're talking to yourself, it's creating affirmations. So I am abundant, I am wealthy, I am worthy of money, I am worthy of success.
Even the goal is not so fixed. Because I think
I'm worthy of a healthy relationship.
Yes,
I'm worthy of love.
Yes.
I'm worthy of, and these are incantations.
That soak in the
100%. And repetition is the mother of all skill, right?
Yes, I agree.
So when you
Mastery.
keep saying it, and you can play it overnight, you can do it during the day, you can look and do a lot of mirror work, you can write it down. There's so many different ways. So yes, manifestation is, and when your vibration and your energy, because we spoke about energy and being energy, when your vibration and your frequency is aligned with your blueprint of what you should be or what you see yourself to be, and you're working towards that, and that can be with affirmations or incantations, etc., etc.
No, you have to put it at work.
It's achieved a lot quicker, but you have to put in the work, of course, because the universe or God is giving you everything. Like any millionaire has, you can have. Like every loving relationship,
there's a lot of
you can
abundance
also
in life.
have that.
I always believe that the sky can contain a lot of egos. Everybody can fly.
Everybody can. Yeah, absolutely. But it's about how you focus and where focus goes, energy flows, right?
Yes.
So you have to focus and zoom in to what you want and write it, break it down. And I help a lot of people achieve this.
Is it one of the techniques that
this is one of the things people come to me for for sessions, and we look at it's not just about the manifestation, but I do teach manifestation skills, and we do workshops, etc.
Okay.
It's
Vision
more
board and all.
of how people, because there's a lot of things that you might be fighting within yourself, and that could be your limiting belief system that's been stopping you from achieving that. So it's not just the vibration. It's not just that being aligned. It's also working on that inner voice.
Understood.
And it's not just about saying I am where I am. No, because there's something contradicting. There's two conflicting belief systems, which is a cognitive dissonance. So we try and correct that, change and really understand the why you want to become rich, why you want a loving relationship. And in the loving relationship, I'll get you to make a list.
What do you want?
Of what you want in this person. And then I'll ask you, are you all of those?
Okay.
So, yes, it's interesting.
Yes.
And this topic can go on forever.
I know this topic is so big. That's why I said, in very brief words, just some takeaways from it.
Yes.
I know that we can elaborate. We can make
100%.
a whole episode about that.
Maybe we will.
The signature question?
Let's do it.
Brief words. How a person can become wiser in life. Wisdom.
Okay.
Are you stoic?
Emotional intelligence.
Are you stoic like me, Dr. Zeina?
Stoic?
Yeah.
I'm a bit of everything, I think.
Really?
Yes, a bit of everything.
But
I do believe that you must develop your emotional intelligence.
The EQ.
That gets you really wise. Your EQ. Your EI.
Do you read
I
eyes?
call it. I do read eyes.
What do you see in mine?
That's for another session. You're taking away from the viewers.
Okay.
He told you about the hand, right?
Yeah. Let's see.
And now he's trying to get the eyes. No. So, reading,
Reading.
helping others, knowing that the two key things in life that bring you happiness is growth and contribution.
Okay.
So these are the ones to take away. And love makes the world go round. So I'm a true believer of that.
Is the love the relationship love, or the love you spread to everybody?
Love to people.
You can spread it to your pet, to your neighbor,
Absolutely,
to the person cleaning your
you
home.
cannot just spread it,
Yeah.
but feel it
Everyone.
from there. You know,
Okay.
a lot of people that are lonely in life or feel like they're not wise enough to grow in life is because they probably don't feel those key aspects. Emotionally intelligent, they don't have growth and contribution, and they don't read at all, and they don't feel loved.
Okay, understood.
And to feel love, you have to be love.
So if I don't have love in my life, supposedly, if I'm lonely or solitude mode, if I give love to others, so the person who doesn't have the thing can give it to the outside, right? Or
Yes,
no?
100%.
So I can give love to the others.
But how can you not-
I can smile to the others, but but I don't have the smile in my life. So the person who doesn't have something can give it up.
So here's the thing. It's how you define love, right? Is love not somebody caring for you and bringing you a glass of water? Is love not
Supporting when I have problems, for example.
supporting when you have problems?
Okay.
Is it not a friend who takes the time to listen to you? And listening is a key skill as well to be wise.
Yes.
And actually, that's on the top of
I
my
believe
list.
that I can hear you, but listening to you is a whole different thing.
Yes.
So let's sum it up. Reading,
So listening,
listening. to
emotional
others.
intelligence,
Emotional intelligence, working on the emotional intelligence.
growth, contribution,
Growth in life, like growing every day and contributing in this life to the others and to the outcome.
and love.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Zeina.
Thank you.
It was an amazing podcast, and I have a feeling that we're going to shoot more.
Yes.
I want to extract
hope
more
so.
juice of this lady.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. God bless.
Have a great day.
Thank
you
you.
guys for watching, and stay tuned for more episodes and for more wisdom from the Wise Podcast. Thank you, Dr. Zeina.
Thank you.
Thank you, podcast office team. And that was it.